people, welcome back. You don't know, it's a boy Command Brown back with another video, and these are two must-haves for your iPad. On the left here we have a GaN or Gallium Nitride 100 watt charger by Cirtek, right? And on the right here we have a USB-C adapter from Anker. I'm gonna pull both of these bad boys out of the packages soon, but just to give you a rundown, these are definite must-haves if you use your iPad for productivity. As a matter of fact, this is even more useful, and even this more so as well, if you're really embedded in the ecosystem. If you have multiple Apple devices, iPads, Macs, the works, even your iPhone. These are must-haves in your arsenal. Swiss Army knives here, people. Now, what makes this so special is because, yet again, it's 100 watts. You have 4 different ports. You have 2 USB-C type A, well, USB-A, USB 3.0 type A ports, and 2 USB-C ports. Now, here we have the rundown of the specs at the back. Now, there's a whole bunch of numbers here, peeps, but don't get flustered. What it's basically telling you is that it adjusts itself. It adjusts the voltage based on what's plugged in. Depends on the power draw, right? Of course, it does its own calculations. It only manages 100 watts, so it depends on what's plugged in what port. It will adjust the voltage accordingly, right? You guys can have a look at that. Now, this is actually, you know, one of the cheaper ones on Amazon. I see a lot of these tech reviewers doing a lot of the green 100 watt charger. I mean, it's pretty good, but it's also pretty damn expensive, and it doesn't come with one of these. One of the reasons why I actually got this one, let's put that down for a second here, is that this comes with a USB-C to USB-C cable, fairly long, about 6 or so feet. It's rated for 100 watts. Because to get the full juice out of this, you need to have a cable which is worthy of all of its awesome power. Your regular phone cable won't work for this, guys. Well, not to get its full potential. Now, here we have it in live and living color, and here's the Cirtek logo. This LED actually lights up to show that it's getting power from the receiver, from the plug. And here we have the USB-A, USB-A1 and A2, USB-C1 and C2. Now, you don't know, so the USB-C ports will give you more power. The USB ports, A ports, aren't so bad either. But they also give you the specs same as the box here at the back of the unit itself, which, you know, if you're on the go and you don't have the box with you, which most people won't, you'll actually be able to, you know, touch up on, you know, what to plug into where, and, you know, the expected power draw from each. Now, here we go again, 100 watts, and yeah, it's not too bad in the hands actually, and it's actually fairly solid, and it's also quite portable. Solid snaps, right? I love this. This is a must-have, because I could charge. I'm actually going to show you guys at the end of this video how it would look charging my iPad, my Apple Watch, my iPhone, and it just takes it like a champ and just keeps on plugging along. Now let's put this aside. That's fairly straightforward, no need for that. And here we go. Now, it's not really much of an unboxing. Of course, I had to pull them to do my own testing, but I had to repackage them anyway for you guys. Now, before we get to the main event, they give you a nice little, you know, pouch. You put the unit in here itself, and then you put the cable in one of these little slots here outside. It's nice. That aside, right? Of course, you have your booklet, which, yet again, nobody reads that. And here it is, the main unit. Yet again, I chose this based off of price. It's a reputable brand. I mean, one thing I've learned, you don't skimp on certain things like this. And yeah, I mean, here we go. Has a HDMI port, a regular size SD card slot, a micro SD slot, and this is one you need to look for, the power delivery port, which will give you the maximum charging speed to the iPad herself, right? We have 2 USB-A ports rated at 5 gigabytes per second each, and a single 5 gigabyte per second rated USB-C port, and that's just an LED light in case you're wondering, right? USB-C, of course, and yeah, that's it. Fairly straightforward stuff here, fairly standard stuff. Now let's clean this up for a second. No need for that or this. You keep the box around for the specs, but let's put it aside for a second. All right, people, so here we go. Right, how I use this usually, I mean, let's see, put that over there. Now yet again, this cable that comes with it is rated for 100 watts. One of the reasons why I picked this up. If you guys are interested, want to see the cost and see the full down, you know, specs from the product page and also product reviews from other people besides myself here, I'll leave the links in the description below. You guys could check both of these peripherals out, see for yourself, make a decision if you want to grab them. Now, here we go. Bam. And where you plug this in is here in the power delivery port. Blue means go. That's it. A little untidy, may require a little bit of cable management, you know, depending on how neat you are. You wrap this up and you're good to go. You plug this into your iPad and bam, your iPad becomes pretty much more useful than your MacBook. At least the MacBooks 13, the MacBook Air and the MacBook Pro 13, you know, the 14 and the 16 now have all of these ports, which is a godsend. But here we go. Turns your iPad into a versatile machine, or even your MacBook, depending on what year. Now, I'm actually going to go for the MacBook right about now, so you guys can actually see how the complete picture looks. Alright people, so before I actually move on to showing you guys how everything connects and how I use them and how they actually work together with that bad boy over there, I'm actually going to tell you something very, 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 very important. If you decide to pick up one of these, regardless of the brand, although I really and truly would recommend Anker, solidly built product, and you better well know that it more than likely will work for your needs. Now, when I got this, I actually got this before this, right? A little backstory here, and boy, it was a sad day indeed. I realized that it wouldn't work how I would like it or need it to work without a power source. Right, so something to note if you decide to pick up one of these, regardless if it's this model, one of the higher, more expensive models, well, the higher ones, you definitely will need a power source, right? That's because, you know, to facilitate the rated 5 gigabytes per second and all the, you know, the fast speeds and, you know, all of that, it requires juice, it requires power. That's why the power delivery port is right here, actually, right? Serves a purpose. I had no clue, but something to note. If you're getting this, you have to get something like this. It doesn't have to be the 100 watt charger. It could be a 60 watt, a 30 watt. 30 watts a waste of time, but so you get a 65 watt at the minimum. But that's something to note, guys. All right, so let's move on to the next phase. All right, people, and they're back. Now here we have my iPad, my Apple Watch, and this iPhone 13 Pro Max here, all charging at their fully rated fast charging speeds. Now just for some proof here, not playing around here, here it is charging. You guys can have a look. Pardon the fingerprints here. 86% charged. There it is, charging symbol. It's all going. Here we go, Apple Watch charging. And here we go. Don't touch my phone. Charging, right? So this is maximum 30 watts, maximum 30 watts, even though they rate them at 20. With a fast enough charger, you can actually squeeze closer to 30 watts out of them. So 30, I think around 18 or 20. Do the math, that's about what? 80 watts, maybe, give or take, because it redistributes the power based on what is plugged in and the power draw from what is plugged in as well, right? All right, so let's do a demonstration here. Let me plug out the iPad here for a second. Plug it back in. You hear that? It does this thing. Let me flip this over as well. Right? plug out the iPhone. And you hear the watch again. You plug it back in. Hear that? It does this little short trip out, so to speak, because that's it redistributing the power to the other device. So it adjusts the voltage based on the need of the item and based on which port is being used and the power draw. So a little complicated math here, but it's to also protect your items as well, you know, so there's no over voltage or any craziness happening here. And I wish you guys could feel this right now. It is like warm, almost close to room temperature warm. It is warm, yo. Before we go any further, let's go a little rundown of the specs here. As it says, you know, input short circuit protection, automatic matching current, you know, input over current protection, output short circuit protection, input over voltage protection, output over voltage protection, temperature protection, output over current protection. So yeah, that's it. I mean, that's a lot of stuff here, a lot of features. I mean, you have the regular stuff over here, which you mentioned already. The GaN technology, which is gallium nitride, short for that. Convenient to carry because it's small yet powerful. It little but it talawa, as we would say here in Jamaica. Yeah, 4 interfaces, which are the 4 ports. You have a 100 watt quick charge, 4 times the speed because you get your power delivery, your fast charging speeds and everything. And this e-marker chip, which I guess is probably some proprietary, some term, which is probably just some some fancy words for a chip, the brains of the operation in there. And then, you know, of course, 5 amps. Now, yeah, guys, I've already seen back here already. Throw that aside for a second. And now we're actually going to do, you know, show my typical usage of this on a regular day when I'm working with the bad girl here. So let's make the switch. All right, people, so, and they're back, right? Here we have the full spread. This is how I would typically use it. I mean, no Apple Watch this time because, well, it's usually on my wrist. It's not right now, but that's where it usually finds its home when I'm working. And here we go. Now, here's my iPad Pro here with the Anker USB Type-C hub plugged in. And pardon the cable management, I mean, the space a little tight. Now, there we go. I mean, there she is, charging yet again. There she is, charging yet again. Close that over for a second here. And this is the cable leading to the charger, of course. For sake of cable management, I had to throw that overboard. And here she is, my green USB-C SSD enclosure, which here's a power light connected right to this. So now I can edit while charging. And I also could plug in a USB drive in here as well. I could plug in an SD card in here as well. I can copy data to and fro. It's crazy, it's amazing, guys. The only disadvantage, of course, is the cables all over the place, but I mean, here it is. Phone is also charging as well, and it's so convenient. I mean, if I had a MacBook, could also be charging that as well. Of course, it couldn't be running it at max, while these are also running at max. It's only 100 watts, and the new ones especially, have a bit of power draw to them. If it's the MacBook Air or the 13-inch MacBook Pro, you should be good to go. But that's it, guys. I highly recommend these. These are a lifesaver. I don't more have to be thinking about if I have enough battery power to use my drive over here to edit my videos or my photos or whatever. I don't have to worry about that anymore. I can do both, plug it in and forget about it. And yet again, this thing is lukewarm to the touch, right? Beautiful stuff. You don't have to go out there and spend them Benjamins to get, well, close to a Benjamin, to get the U-Green model that everybody's talking about. I mean, they're more or less the same or similar technology in all of them. The parts all come from the same place, China. And yeah, I mean, once they do what they need to do, you're good to go. The reviews are all there. There are numerous reviews giving this thing praises. It's only about 30 bucks compared to the close to 100 bucks the U-Green version. That's the same thing, guys. The only thing I wish it did have, which the U-Green one does have, is that it has 2 more USB-C ports instead of the USB-A ports. But I mean, that's okay, right? For the price that you're paying, you're good to go. So thanks for tuning in once again, guys. Not so pretty and clean video, but functional. But you don't know and appreciate a like, subscribe, and of course hitting that little notification bell so you know when the next video is out. Take care, guys, and peace out.